This is New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News with David Navarro and Shirlene Ellicott and Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at noon.
New clues in the case of a college student who vanished 5 years ago. Are police any closer to figure out what happened to Lauren Spiro?
Plus, a young girl nearly snatched by a man with a van, all occurring near a bus stop in Brooklyn. What the man said to her and how she was able to get away.
And an AccuWeather alert. Snow showers moving through the tri-state area at this hour. Meteorologist Bill Evans tracking it for us. And good afternoon. I'm Shirlene Ellicott.
I'm David Navarro. We're going to have more on those stories in a minute. But we're going to first begin with breaking news. A group of longshoremen have walked off the job in New Jersey at the port as part of an ongoing labor dispute. This got to 7 right now over Port Newark and Port Elizabeth. And right now, no shipments can be accepted because of this job action. The Port Authority says trucks will not be allowed to enter the port during the labor dispute. The International Longshoremen's Association says this is not an organized action, and the union is trying to get the workers back on the job. Now, we have a ground crew on the way to the scene, and we'll update you with any new information as soon as it comes in.
And now to that attempted abduction, and police are looking for a man, they say, trying to take a young girl on her way home from a school in Brooklyn. Yeah,
this happened near PS 399 in Flatbush yesterday. That's where Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Sager is live with the details. Stacey.
Well, Dave, this did all happen right in front of an elementary school, PS 399 here in Flatbush. You see it behind me on Rogers Avenue. We are talking about a suspect who was driving an old gray rusty van, which he then got out of, and he was carrying a wooden stick. Now, throughout the morning here in Flatbush, police have been combing through the area. They've been looking for surveillance cameras, clearer pictures that they can get. In this case, they say an 11-year-old girl was at the bus stop here at Albemarle Road and Rogers Avenue at around 5:40 p.m. yesterday. When the suspect asks her if she needs a ride, then he gets out of his car and tries to grab her. She runs back to her charter school, which was up the block, and tells authorities. Word has gotten out this morning. School safety officers were watching the kids extra closely, and parents are well aware this could have happened to anyone.
Very concerned because usually they go to the bus stop by themselves, and they usually leave about 6:30. They actually left a little late because I'm sick, and I decided to take them because I heard it.
Now, once again, the girl was able to tell authorities the man was driving a rusty old gray van, carrying some sort of wooden stick. He was on the shorter side, around 5'3", 5'4". He was wearing a gray baseball cap, gray sweater, and gray pants. If anyone has any information on this case, you are being asked to call police, the 67th Precinct handling this. We are live in Flatbush. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Stacey. New developments in a police-involved shooting in Brooklyn. A third suspect has now been placed under arrest. In all, 3 men are accused of robbing a Verizon store yesterday in Bensonhurst. Police say they shot one of the suspects, who they say was armed, and after he bailed out of a getaway car that crashed in Midwood, there was the confrontation. 2 firearms were recovered at the scene. The suspect who was shot was taken to the hospital, another arrested at the scene.
Also new at noon, police in New Jersey have arrested a physical education teacher for allegedly having sexual contact with a student. Investigators say 36-year-old Edward Clark of Hackensack had sexual contact with a 10-year-old girl at school a number of times in Patterson. He is charged with criminal sexual contact and endangering the welfare of a child. His first court appearance is scheduled for this afternoon.
Well, now to the weather, and the snow flurries are starting to fall in parts of the tri-state area.
We want to turn now to meteorologist Bill Evans with an update. He is outside our studio on the Upper West Side. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, waiting a few of those flakes. Well, there have been a couple. There's been some around the area. There's been some up the Hudson River Valley across Long Island now as a cold front is going to sweep through the area. One thing you will notice, it's going to get much colder for the afternoon. Here's how it looks. You got those low gray clouds right now. Those look like those good old snow clouds that we're used to seeing. And we're going to be looking at temperature this hour now, 38 degrees, which is going to probably hang around at that number. 35 on the Hudson River Valley, 32 around Monticello. So as we go into the afternoon, we're seeing this front sliding eastward. There you see the snow showers from the Hudson River Valley. And some of that changes to some sprinkles right at the coast. and maybe even a little rain mixed in across Rockland, Westchester County. That's because our temperatures at 38, 39 degrees, 35, a little bit above freezing, right up above 287 there and along I-80. You see some snow showers there. Out across Nassau County, a couple of sprinkles. This has been pretty heavy across Monmouth and Ocean County there on the Garden State Parkway. So just got to watch out for areas where we're going to see these snow showers for the afternoon. You'll see on our futurecast. Might create slippery roads and sidewalks for a few more hours, up until about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then it's going to get windy and cold tonight. We'll also talk about the weekend coming up in just a moment in your AccuWeather forecast. So hang on, I'll have that for you in just a few minutes. Back to you, David, Shirley.
All right, Bill, thanks. Well, fear surrounding the Zika virus outbreak growing now that dozens of cases have been detected across the U.S., including here in New York City. Now, the CDC says there are 31 cases of the mosquito-borne illness in 11 states and Washington, D.C. 3 people are battling the virus in New York City, including a pregnant woman.
They're going to monitor her developing baby to see if the baby's been affected. And once that baby's born, they'll be doing hearing tests, vision tests to see whether the baby's been damaged. At this point, we don't know how big the risk is to that baby.
Now, it's important to note that there is really no risk of contracting the virus in our area. The mosquito species responsible for the transmission is not found here, and mosquitoes in general are not active during the winter months. In Brazil, however, where the outbreak was first reported, officials launched a nationwide cleanup operation to eliminate breeding areas for those mosquitoes. Charlene.
David, Uber is slashing its prices, and not everyone seems to be happy about it. In fact, taxi drivers and their union are outside Uber headquarters in Long Island City right now to hold a protest against the company. This comes as Uber plans to drop its prices by 15%. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Fleischer is at the protest with more. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Shirley, this protest just got underway just a few minutes ago. It's a small group of people. Actually, I think there might be more camera people and reporters there than there are protesters. But these drivers certainly do not like Uber's latest move to lower fares. In an effort to attract more riders, Uber is putting into effect a series of cuts in fares by as much as 15%. This, traditional taxi drivers believe, will monopolize taxi service and destroy jobs.
It's kind of tough for me, like, see me sitting down here, no business, nothing happening, and it's kind of bad, and it's tough, you know.
Uber says fares will go down about $15. The base fare goes from $3 to $2.55. The per mile rate goes from $2.15 to $1.75. The per minute rate drops from 40 cents to 30 cents, and the minimum fare drops from $8 to $7. Uber officials say that previous fare reductions resulted in more rides, and there is less time waiting for a ride.
Our job is to make them as efficient as possible and to bring Uber to as many people as possible by making it more affordable.
Sample fares from Uber, for instance, from Midtown to LaGuardia will be $37.12. The old fare was $43.67. From Williamsburg to Bushwick will be $8.40. It was $9.90. And from Astoria to Long Island City, it will cost $10.29 versus the old fare of $12.09. As I say, that protest just got underway a few minutes ago, and I can see now that the leaders are speaking at a news conference. We'll have more on this tonight on Eyewitness News at 5. Reporting live in Long Island City, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Tim. Well, police making an arrest in the case of a woman slashed on the train in Brooklyn. 37-year-old Ras Alua Nagarit is accused of slashing a woman on the number 3 train Tuesday night. Investigators say he told the victim, quote, "I will chop you up on this train," end quote. Yesterday, Commissioner Bratton rode the subway along with other officers to reassure commuters. The NYPD going to increase its subway patrols in response to recent series of attacks.
We are counting down to the Iowa caucuses, which will take place on Monday. Last night, Donald Trump kept his word, skipping the final GOP presidential debate for the first votes that are cast. But even though the Republican frontrunner didn't participate, he still dominated the event. ABC's Lana Zach joins us now from Des Moines. Lana?
Good afternoon, Shirley. From the very beginning, this has been unlike any other campaign here in the Hawkeye State. And with just 3 days to go before the Iowa caucuses, some people here are asking, where is Donald Trump?
With Donald Trump boycotting the debate, the new candidate at center stage was under fire.
I would note that the last 4 questions had been, Rand, please attack Ted. Marco, please attack Ted. Chris, please attack Ted. Jeb, please attack Ted. Let me just say this.
It is a debate, sir.
Well, no, gosh, if you guys ask one more mean question, I may have to leave the stage.
After a strong start for Ted Cruz,
everyone on this stage is stupid, fat, and ugly. Now that we've gotten the Donald Trump portion out of the way.
The night got rough. That's the assessment of Cruz by Iowa's biggest paper, the Des Moines Register.
I don't think Ted can have it both ways.
Meanwhile, just a few miles away, the national frontrunner held his own event.
I didn't want to be here, I have to be honest.
And here in Iowa, he isn't anymore. The only Republican candidate to leave the state today, campaigning now in New Hampshire.
You can't let him push you around.
His absence, a boon for Marco Rubio.
Don't worry, I'm not leaving the stage no matter what you ask me.
And a lot of people here today say that they are going to take a second look at Marco Rubio. Remember, even a third-place finish, if strong, would be a big win for his campaign. Reporting live from Des Moines, Lana Zach, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you, Charlene.
Lana, thank you. Political reporter Dave Evans is headed to Iowa this weekend for Monday's caucuses. He is live on Sunday night right here on Eyewitness News, so tune in.
A potential break-in in notorious missing person cases. Are investigators closer to finding out what happened to Lawrence Spearer?
And deputies captured on camera punching and kicking a man. What led to the violent confrontation?